Okay, welcome back to What If History Restarted. Episode 59. Last time we did stuff in the colonies, and we're going to be picking up from there, but not from the colonies, because we're going over to Asia. As I mentioned before, Golden Horde and whatever this one's called, Baikal, that's it. These two have sort of like a little bit of a rivalry going on, with their own kind of spheres of influence. And we're going to see that's going to be more... It's going to come into play, that's how I'll phrase it. Because this guy over here, whatever they're called, Baikal, I keep forgetting, is going to be creating their own economic alliance. And I don't want to do a star again, so... Octagon, sure. So here I have the Octagon Economic Alliance, and is going to be joined by a few members, such as Hokkaido, Japan, the Alaskan country. I guess I'll just do it over here. No, I guess this would make more sense. We're also going to see this South Chinese country, as well as probably this country. So there we have it, the Octagon Alliance, which is economic. So that sure does exist. And you know what, we'll even throw in Myanmar. Oops. So they're in the Diamond Military Alliance and the Octagon Economic Alliance, which is a little bit awkward because the Diamond Alliance definitely doesn't like the Octagons, but these guys are in both, so it's a little awkward, but oh well. And then we're going to head over somewhere else, probably just staying in Central Asia, to be honest. Now if we look at the religion layer, we can see that, nope, this, hold on, I cannot speak. This ethnic group is obviously the main economic group in this country. It's where the capital is and all that. However, it has a lot of land that isn't part of this this group. Primarily, well, actually, it's kind of split between this one and this one. But there's this large Russian population up here, and these, who even lives here? Just a random ethnic group, I guess. But yeah, over here, this group is like the most rowdy because it does have its own city over here, as you can see, obviously. And yeah, it's probably, and obviously there's a country which is completely that ethnic group right above it. So obviously maybe this country is going to be wanting some of that land. These guys are in Golden Horde's field of influence. And we're going to have to see that they're going to join the Square Alliance, which is kind of Golden Horde's economic alliance, although, I mean, they're not really the leader of it, like Baikal's the leader of the Octagon Alliance, but they are a very important member of it. Probably third place behind Gibraltar and France. So they do that, and remember, these are economic alliances, not military alliances, so this country is going to be free to try and go to war with this country. So yeah, we actually have this very small country declaring war on a much larger one. Now obviously that doesn't sound like it's going to go too well. This country does not believe it's going to be that hard of a war, but they start sending over their troops to go up here, and pretty quickly they are met with very surprisingly powerful resistance. This city gets pretty easily taken, and suddenly they are getting pushed back a ton. Now there's two main reasons for this. Number one, these people really want out, so there's really not a lot of resistance against, the invaders of this team are welcomed with open arms because they're kind of liberating their people. But also, even further than that, they're definitely getting a lot of support from Golden Horde. So yeah, they start going all the way through here, coming down here, and all that. And yeah, it's pretty easily fought. It's not. I don't really know what the terrain like is here. Well, actually, I do, because down here it's like, well, maybe not down up there, but like this part of the country. Let's do this, I guess. Like, this is just Tibet, so that's like extremely mountainous. But up in the north, I don't really know. But I'm assuming it's just like open fields, because you know, Eurasian steppe and all that. So pretty quickly, this country is kind of getting beat up, with its capital even being taken. Another piece is cut off. This is a very humiliating defeat because, you know, as you can see, this country is 6,000, and this one is 47,000. So, in terms of pixels. So, yeah. These chunks fall, and after a little bit more pushing, mainly up through here, since, like I said, this is just like the Tibetan Plateau, which is probably not that densely populated, the country is pretty much done and it surrenders. So, in this peace treaty, just do that. No. First of all, these guys are going to be taking all of the Russian-dominated lands. They're also going to be taking a little bit more, being this area down here, and just some general borderlands, like so. So yeah, that's a very humiliating loss for this country. I'm just kind of to rub it in even more. This country is going to be, they're going to be moving their capital from their current capital over to the city that they literally just claimed, because the city is way more populated than their old capital. So yeah, not the best look for these guys. There's also a weird enclave up here, so let's fix that. And yeah, these guys have taken a pretty big hit. This country's kind of their ally, but these guys are, I mean, this country is like their ally, sort of, but it's like a little bit too neutral to really get involved. I mean, this one is literally just mountains. They are, pretty, there's like 5 people here, and that they all live up here. But yeah. So now we have 3 kind of powers, or not, well, not powers, but like 3 equally sized countries over here, roughly. This one is slightly bigger than the other 2, and then this one is the next biggest, and then this one's still the smallest. But it has 2 cities, so in terms of population, it's definitely over this guy. And in terms of military strength, it's probably way above this team, and pretty much equal to this team. So that went pretty well for the Square Alliance, and Baikal is not too happy now. However, that definitely certifies this guy as a very strong ally, I guess you could say, of Baikal, because they are now very angry at these guys. There's also the issue of this country over here. These guys are leaning slightly more Baikal coded. The only thing is that they did fight against each other in World War I, but since then they've kind of become allies. And this country would like to reclaim a lot of its old land, which it had like a lot of Siberia. So, which I mean, some of that also was Baikal's, but like, well, is now Baikal's, but like, they mainly want their Golden Horde land back. And so, with these guys being more Baikalified, they are actually going to end up joining the Octagon Alliance. So yeah, and that just leaves like Korea, China, and this country. This country is like the Switzerland of this world, so they're not going to be joining anything. They clearly haven't had their borders changed since they were established, like probably like 30 episodes ago. And then these 2 countries are a little bit in an awkward state here, because like literally everyone hates them, except they only have each other. So that's great for them, I guess, because, you know, Baikal hates them. They fought, World War I, they fought against Baikal, these guys, and this country was freed from them, and they're now allied with Baikal, and Baikal is like their biggest rival. They did fight alongside this country in World War I, but since then they've drifted apart, especially because, like I said, this country is now allied with Baikal, and Baikal is their biggest rival. So, and then this country is just neutral and everything. So, yeah, they have like no potential allies around them. And that's a little bit awkward. I mean, they could unite. Let's see what their color would be. Oh, that looks terrible, so maybe they won't unite. And also, I mean, I wasn't going to actually have them unite, but, it's just a funny little joke, you see. How is that a vital city? I feel like that doesn't make sense, but, you know what, we're going to keep it. Yes. What was I going to do? I low-curricularly kind of forget. But, you know what, we're going over to Europe, because we got to look at the Hexagon Alliance. So yeah, the Hexagon Alliance sure does exist. They haven't really done much, but they do still exist. And the only other country that's kind of thinking of joining them is Denmark. However, that would be cutting it a little bit close to being too close to the Star Alliance. And obviously, the Treaty of World War I prohibits the Star Alliance from being a thing. So Denmark doesn't want to risk it. So that's probably not going to happen, but there is definitely a large amount of people, Danish people, who want their country to join. Okay, just want to make sure my mic was working, and I believe it is. If it's not, then you wouldn't be hearing this. Yeah, so, yeah, Square Alliance is definitely a little bit hesitant against the Hexagon Alliance, but it's still going decent, I guess. However, there is a little bit, there's something else going on with the Square Alliance, which is that basically, like I said, we have Tuscany/France and Gibraltar over here. These two guys are very close allies, and they are the two strongest countries in not only the alliance, but like in the entire world. Obviously, I mean, for now at least. So they're obviously like the leaders of the alliance. This alliance is pretty diverse because it stretches all the way across Europe and goes, if you count all of Baikal, then goes well into Siberia. So there's starting to be a little bit of a rift starting up here. Basically, the Tuscan/Gibraltar, we'll even combine that to like Tusk-Gibraltaran, that's what we're going to say. The Tusk-Gibraltaran half of the alliance is drifting away from the Golden Hordian half of the alliance. And so, I mean, it's really just the European half versus the Asian half. I mean, I guess, Europe, where does Europe end? I think it's like right here, maybe. So the Golden Horde is not all Asian, but they're mostly Asian. And yeah, things continue to be a little bit of an issue here, because these guys are starting to, the countries that border Golden Horde are starting to be a lot more they're starting to favor them a lot more than Tuscany and France, or starting to favor that, they're starting to favor Golden Horde more than they're favoring Tuscany and Gibraltar. That is how the English language works. So, and the same thing goes over here, where we have like, these three countries in Ireland and these guys and all that. These guys are more focused on these countries than Golden Horde. The two halves start to trade with each other a lot less until it's debatable if they're even in an economic alliance, and then eventually Golden Horde is going to say, no, we're not. And that's why Golden Horde is... So, Golden Horde meets with the leaders of... Well, not all of Golden Horde, obviously, but the leaders of Golden Horde, Tuscany, and Gibraltar all meet up, and they decide that the alliance is going to be split. So, yeah. Basically, we have the more dominant actual square half over here. But over here, the Asian... Oh, yeah, actually, they go, like, all the way over. The square alliance goes from Senegal over to, like... Where even is that? It's, like, I guess, Tibet. So, yeah, Senegal to Tibet. It's a pretty diverse alliance. But not anymore, because Baikal's half of the alliance is going to be switching over and making their own alliance. They do consider just joining the Circle Alliance instead, but some of these countries don't really like some of these countries. So, yeah. We're going to make it an arrow, because that's easy to cover up the squares with, although maybe it's not. Okay, fine, we're not just going to cover up the squares with them then. And there, I sped it up for all of you. So yeah, we have Baikal, or not Baikal, we have Golden Horde, the Central Asian country, the blue team, who's still in 2 alliances, Ukraine, this thing, and this thing. They all join the new Baikal alliance, and yeah, we can now very clearly see the rift between the Baikal and Golden Horde worlds, which I definitely didn't almost mess up again, which currently is just like this, but hold on, let's not do that. So yeah, currently the rift is just like this. Probably don't need to be this close to the border, but yeah. So we'll see if this Iron Curtain descends any further. Although actually, I guess actually no. Well, actually yes, because we don't know. Like, maybe this one goes by call, so it would be like this, but maybe it doesn't. Or no, yeah, maybe this one goes by call, so it would be like this, but maybe it goes Golden Horde, which would mean it's like this. We don't know. I guess we could then do this too, then, because we don't know about this country. They're pretty neutral, but like not as neutral as this country, so it's like hashtag awkward. And yeah, so we'll see how that continues in the future. By Iron Curtain, unless you want to be a new country, the black team, they can just exist like over here, sure, and their capital would be like right here. Oh, you can't see it, pretend that's yellow. Okay, anyway, die. Just for the fun of it, we're going to include 1 pixel of the black team. This might take a while. Yeah, there we go. Okay, the black team, there you go. The black team is real. Is real. Also, I guess that's the alliance map, not the world map, so let's do that. There we go. Anyway, anywho, anyhow, any whether, any which, anyway, yeah. In the Levant, I think, kind of area, and a little bit further, I guess, because I think the Levant is just like this. I'm talking about like, oh, this. Sea of Marmara too. In this area, we have like a few neutral countries. We have this tiny little one that broke off of the black team. We have purple Anatolia, and we have this cyan country. I mean, there's also Cyprus, but they like don't exist. And they're still all walled in for the past, was it like, well, at least 500 years now, probably like 550. But yeah, some of these neutral countries are not going to be neutral. Because over here, this Hexagon Alliance is kind of being like paraded around as being like a alliance for neutral countries. And and this purple Anatolian country is going to decide to link that. So yeah, it's pretty much just a Mediterranean alliance, and then you have Scotland. So that's fun. Oh, and these two, I forgot. Okay, never mind, it's not as funny then. But yeah, this guy remains neutral. And obviously Cyprus is going to remain neutral. And these guys are a little bit scared of the Square Alliance, so they do not do anything. But yeah, we can see that there's like 3 whole sides now. Oh wait, we already did an Arrow Alliance. Ah man, well, can change it again. Okay, they're now the Cross Alliance. X/cross, because, cross, you kind of think of like this, but it's like this kind of cross. Yeah, we're gonna say X Alliance, I guess, because that sounds cooler also. And yeah, it's going pretty well for them. One country where it's not going so well is this pink country right here. They are in the Circle Economic Alliance, but that's not really the main issue here. It's also not really religion, because, I mean, I guess technically they are multi. Yeah, I mean, they have a little. They're pretty much entirely green, but they do have a little red and well, they have a little pink and a tiny bit of red. Let's see if we look on here. And you have one city which is in the green area, so I guess that might be a little bit, or I mean pink area. So I guess that might be a little problematic. But that's not even it. Basically, it's the election. The political parties are fighting, not the people. Because they had an election, which a lot of people are saying is rigged. A lot of them are saying isn't rigged. So, yeah. Pretty quickly, we have two fronts rise up. We have the nationalists, who are, just going to be represented by the actual color. But then we also have these guys. That's the alliance layer. So yeah, they're kind of, I erased the circle over these guys, first of all, so you can actually see it. Second of all, though, because they are suspended from the Circle Alliance while this is happening, because none of the money is really being used correctly. Anyway, this front is actually, pretty clearly divided, There's not, pockets all over the place, just one big one. And it's a very slow stalemate. I don't think Iran has the greatest geography to be fighting a war in, so, yeah. But slowly but surely, these guys are actually going to continue to grow. I mean, obviously you can see this, very slow, till eventually they get on the gates of capital and capture it, and but these southern fronts kind of collapse, because, well, the nationalist government completely collapses. However, we then have another front rising up, because these guys, they don't want the old leader, because they are the same political party. Well, they were, but they deviated, because the revolution kind of showed that these guys, want this one specific leader. These guys don't want that one specific leader, even if they're the same political party. And, yeah. So, yeah, this is a bit of a mess. And then we also, to make matters worse, have Golden Horde jumping them. And then we have the blue team jumping them, because they want their ethnic group up here, their one city. And, yeah. Soon enough, this country is just kind of gonna, well, they're not gonna come to a stalemate. Instead, this division is just gonna win outright. However, Golden Horde doesn't really stop immediately. They get all the way to, here before they're finally told to stop, because Baikal is threatening them. So anyway, in this peace treaty, bam, 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 bam. You're going to see that, first of all, the blue team, they will get their city. Great job, guys. Weird little pain handle, but it's fine. I don't like this. Yeah. Actually, let's give it to Golden Horde. That sounds more fun. But yeah, speaking of Golden Horde, they're going to be getting a lot of this country. All of this. Golden Horde is a very diverse country in terms of religion. Obviously, it's probably just because, they're massive. But, yeah, they have, a lot. Their predominant religion is definitely the dark Russian ethnicity. They have these two other lighter Russian ethnicities. They have a decent amount of the pink ethnicity. And they have now even more of the lime ethnicity / religion. I don't know why this peninsula is Russian, but you know what, we're gonna keep it, because why not? I mean, this is very clearly an error, but it's gonna be funny, so let's just make it look a little nicer. But yeah, it's just a random ethnic group over here. But anyway, getting back to the actual peace treaty. Yeah, Baikal gets that, the blue team gets that, and the new government is going to be instated. I didn't like the color it was before. I didn't like this color. I also didn't like the revolution color. So we're just going to find a new one. And I mean, that kind of works, maybe. I didn't have any problems with it. So yeah, these guys are now a thing, and they are going to be allowed back in the Circle Alliance. Oops. Right, like this. Shabloinky. So yeah, let's see how long this episode is now. Well, I do declare that 24 minutes is good enough. So yeah, that is going to be the end of this episode. Most of it was just kind of the Baikal Golden Horde feud, but yeah, definitely some some things being set up here if you couldn't tell. Goodbye, though.